Hi and welcome to the Career Stories podcast again. This is episode number 6, so we are on a roll today. My name is Joe. This is my good colleague Carrie.
Hello.
We are careers advisors for Skills Development Scotland, as you should already know. So our roles are to speak to people about what they want to do for their future prospects, but also in this podcast we get the chance to actually speak to people in the jobs that they're currently doing, to give you a little bit of an insight behind the scenes. What was their journey like to get there? What do they do currently? What kind of challenges do they face? And also what their kind of future ambitions are in their roles.
Yeah, and it should hopefully give the people listening the opportunity to almost be inspired. There's lots of people who want to do the sort of careers that we're speaking to, and it can be, they maybe don't know all the little ins and outs of it, they don't know the challenges, they don't know the really good things about it, they just know maybe what they see on TV or if they've got friends or family who do it. So this just gives that opportunity to get that little bit more background information that's not on the website or on My World of Work or things like that.
Yeah. The National Health Service is obviously very important. I think since COVID in particular, I think people have maybe started to really understand how vital it is kind of day-to-day life, and obviously when we are feeling a bit not well, we need it to be working in good order. So, you know, I'm quite delighted, to be honest, to have this conversation today, and we're joined by Jake, who is a nurse for A&E, is that right?
Yeah.
So like probably the more extreme version of that role, I can imagine at times.
Yeah, frontline almost.
Yeah, and then I suppose as well, it's even like because you work at the Queen Elizabeth University A&E unit in Glasgow,
yeah.
so that might, when we're looking at different A&E departments, there's going to be different sorts of levels of A&E, I suppose, depending on where you are.
I would say it's probably the bigger one in the Glasgow area. I know it's the major trauma centre as well of the area, so yeah, we kind of get a little bit of everything coming to us.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming to join us today, and we can you're not needing to wear your uniform today. You can come in and you can just have a chat with us about what you do.
It's not too hot in here either, which is great.
Not too hot. I feel roasting.
We're like little red like strawberries after like a while. It's getting a bit warm for us, but no, it's great. I think obviously, so I guess for us, a great place to start would be, how did you get to this position? Because that's obviously for a lot of people, and particularly trying to move into health sector, I think nurses in particular, we know how difficult a job that can be. So how did you come about, first of all, getting to this stage where you wanted to do this job?
It's quite funny. So I never wanted to be a nurse. Not once did I ever think, I actually wanted to go do rugby and try and do that pro. And then I think after 5th year in school, I just was like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm over this. So I didn't stay on for 6th year, and then went to college to do coaching. Hated that. I was just like, no, this isn't for me. Didn't enjoy it, and then I was like, right, okay, I'll just carry on playing rugby. Then I was just working in a pub for about a year and a half maybe, and then COVID. So before that, I was just like, I'm getting bored. Like, you can only work in a village pub every so often, like for so long. And then Mum goes to me, well, what about like nursing, healthcare, or the police? And I was like, well, I mean, might as well just give it a shot. Like, can either love it or hate it. So I volunteered with the Prince's Trust.
Okay.
So that was like it was like a 2-week placement almost. We did stuff building up to it, and then it was 2 weeks in the ward, and it was Ward 6 at the BGH that I was in. Loved it. First day I was like, this is brilliant. Like, it was like it just clicked straight away. I was like, I absolutely love this environment, just helping people when they're at their sickest, most vulnerable. It's like, it's nice being that smiley face for them at coming into it. And then from there I was just like, okay, right, I think I could probably do this. And then COVID hit, got offered a job, so I worked in there, did some of the COVID wards as well, and that was hellish time for everyone. It was pretty hard going for everyone involved. And then I was like, okay, right, I don't want to just be a band 2 anymore. I'd like to do a bit more, become the staff nurse. So did a year of college online while working, and then after that got accepted into the uni, came up to uni, and then just rest is a bit of history. Like, it was, had a great time in uni, and so while I was doing it, I was working not just placements with uni. So like in the medical side, I also did the mental health side as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Just on one of the agencies, just because I wanted to get experience in as many areas as I possibly could get, because I felt like going into being a qualified nurse, it'd be good to be able to work with every kind of patient that you get in, because you don't just get medical problems, people do have mental health problems as well. So just wanted to get as much experience as possible. And then once finished uni, went through the NQN, so the newly qualified nurse program, which was like an interviewing process. I've never been so sweaty in my life in that interview. It was the most casual thing ever. I was like, I'm dying here. I had to start cracking jokes just to make myself relax by the end of it. I was like, oh, did I even answer everything properly? Like, and then from there, I got an offer for A&E, and I started a little bit later than all the other like newly qualifieds, because I hurt my back on my placement, so I had to reset it. It was an absolute pain, but I started a month later than everyone else, and so it was a bit even more daunting, because I was starting with no one new. It was just me and everyone else. I had a month to settle in. But no, absolutely love it now. Feel totally settled. Probably started at the worst time in A&E as well. Like,
how mad's it though, right? That you want to be a pro rugby guy who gets battered every time he plays, but you hurt your back being a nurse. That's
so here's the thing.
Explain, come on.
I probably hurt it playing rugby.
Right, okay.
But it was like, so I'd played rugby on the Wednesday because I was the captain of the uni rugby team for my final year, and went into work on, I think it was either the Thursday or the Friday, bent over to look through like a window to see if a patient had finished their dinner, and my back just went like, it just like twisted and sprained my back.
Oh, God.
But that's the thing though, like people can do, like there's so, like, you know, you can be at the gym doing really heavy lifts and doing something, and then you'll like, someone will shout at you and you'll go, what? And you'll, my back's gone.
The littlest thing, I literally bent over, and I was like, I need to go to minor injuries.
Oh no. At least you would have been quite close.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even. It was the other side. But to go to the closest one to my flat at the time, I had to get an Uber, and it was 8 a.m. So the shift had just started as well. And I was like, you are joking. And I was just like stuck in one place. I can't move right now.
Oh my goodness.
But it was fine in the end. I just had to reset the placement, and then it just kind of had a knock-on effect that everything finished a little bit later, but still managed to pass it. So that's okay.
Oh, that's amazing. And then, like, so you got your first job was in A&E. Was that where you wanted to be? Like, from doing your placements and things like that, were you like, right, I want to be in A&E, or were you?
So I came to uni wanting to be in A&E, and then had a few placements. I loved ophthalmology, so like all the eyes and everything like that, going into the theatres and watching them there. Absolutely love that. Well, so I was totally grossed out by the thought of it, right?
I've had eye issues and had to go to hospital for them, and the
thought totally freaked me out. I was like, I can't believe I'm going on a placement with eyes, and then was there for like 6 weeks, and I was like, this is brilliant.
Oh wow!
Because it was so interesting, the ins and outs of the eye, because it's everything's so small and delicate as well. I had an ICU placement, which I loved. I was in a cardiothoracic unit. So that was mental. Some of the things you'd see, and going into theatres and watching open heart surgery, I was like, this is absolutely bonkers. I was just like, I can't believe that's inside everyone.
Of course.
What is going on?
I've only seen it on the TV. Do we believe them?
Well, I thought I did. Not so much anymore. During the NQN interview, you could say 3 areas you'd like to go into. It's not guaranteed. And I was like, I said ICU was my number one, like a medical receiving unit, and I also said respiratory, because I did a lot of bank shifts, working in there, got on really well with the staff, quite liked the area, and then totally forgot about A&E. Totally forgot about it. So I didn't even want to go, and then got offered the job, and I was like, yes. I was like, thank goodness for that.
And what about, like, you mentioned obviously your journey, so for you are a really good example of someone that's just kind of figured it out as they kind of went along. Obviously had an idea and a plan, and maybe realised that wasn't going to come to fruition, and then, you know, one suggestions came your way and you thought, oh, that could work for me. So, like, what was the kind of catalyst for you, like, for taking that next step? Like, so had you left school, didn't have anything lined up at that stage, or?
Yeah, so it was meant to be rugby. That was the entire plan. I was involved with like the academies and like the Scottish setups and stuff like that. And then I think COVID hit, so rugby stopped. all that kind of stuff. And I was working in the hospital, and I was like, I do love this. I do really enjoy it. So I think I was just like, you know what, I might as well go for it. And I've always wanted to go over to Australia or travel the world. And with something like nursing, I can just go anywhere. I could go tomorrow and I'd still probably have a job, which I'm really lucky that way. So it's kind of like stuck within that sort of plan of being able to travel, because I could have done that with rugby, but I just wanted something that I could. My dad always told me as well, because he was pro. He was like, you need something to fall back on, because it could just be one injury. So I was like, I'll try it. And if it's not for me, it's not for me, but I might as well just try to take it all the way. And everyone was telling me, they won awards, they're like, I think you should do it. So I was like, I'll go try it.
But it's good to commit to try and make it, and if it doesn't work, then obviously, like you say, like being able to pivot and stuff, and use the skills and things maybe that you've learned in a kind of new environment that you're doing now. Because I mean, there's a much tougher environment than getting battered at rugby in the worst weather known to existence. I mean, that's quite a tough.
I don't know.
That's quite solid. So like,
you're probably quite good in a crisis.
That's what I was thinking.
It kind of lots of transferable skills there.
I know it's quite funny. Like, so from going on the wards to working in A&E, things that used to freak you out don't anymore. Like the emergency buzzer goes, and I'm still getting there quickly, but I'm not as what's going on now? But like it's funny how working in that environment, the high intensity environment, you just become more chilled out when things come along the way. Like I think rugby has probably like a benefit to it as well. Like and working in that pub for so long, like can speak to anyone now, it feels like. And it's just like trying to, because sometimes people hold off from saying how unwell or how much pain they are actually in. So it's like it's going in with that friendly face and trying to give them the best care. It becomes quite easy speaking to people when you do it so much, because the amount of people that come through A&E in one day is mental sometimes.
Yeah, I bet, definitely. And I think as well, like obviously this you're saying about being able to speak to anyone, and your previous experience with rugby and with your job in the pub and things like that. I do feel that all these things that have such a big place in being able to build those skills, because I think it's such an underrated, especially for someone in healthcare, it's such an underrated skill, the ability to speak to anyone and make them feel okay to speak to you, because you know, like for people who don't work in hospitals, they're quite a scary place.
It's like it can be the worst day of someone's life.
Definitely.
Like they've just received the worst news possible, or total shock, something's happened at home and they've ended up there. It's just being able to go in and be like, look, you're okay. It's a safe place. Anything you need, I'll do my best to get it for you. So it's just trying to. I really strive to make people as comfortable as I can. Just going over and being that friendly face. It can make or break some people as well.
100%.
And what, like, so see, like, just going back to your school days, obviously, had you done subjects that you like related to your job now, or is it totally different?
Totally different. If you had told me 6 years ago I was going to be a nurse, I would have probably laughed at you. I'd have been like, absolutely no way, that sounds rank. Like, I'm not doing that. Are you joking me? It's bad enough having to get muddy on a rugby pitch. I'm not. There's no way.
We're not adding blood.
There's absolutely no way. But so like I basically came into it all with nothing. Like, and because I hated school as well, I didn't, in my 5th year, I didn't get that many hires. And I remember I got invited to, for whatever reason, our school at Earlston, they were filming opening, like students opening results.
Oh no.
So
I can see where this is going.
I have a feeling it had been to do with rugby, because I'd done quite well. I'd managed to get into I think it was the Scotland under-16s at the time. So I got invited along, and I was like, why on earth am I being invited along to this? I didn't try that hard to go for A's and everything like that. But so I remember being filmed over my results, and I was like, A and PE. and then saying the rest, I was like, why?
Did you tell the truth about what you got?
Of course I did, yeah, I didn't lie. And then I kind of was like, why am I here? Everyone else had A's, straight A's, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh no.
But I wanted to go out and play rugby, that's all I wanted to do. And that was like my life. So like 5th year especially, it was like before going to school, I'd be in the gym or the academy, then school, then like training or something afterwards. So it was my life.
Yeah.
I didn't care about anything else. So the subjects I studied at school were not relating to nursing at all. I just basically came into it with nothing, and I've come out with it with a degree.
But what I think is really probably impressive, and I don't know if you pat yourself on the back sometimes for it, but like I think the pivot that you've done so quickly when you've realised that, okay, it's maybe not going to work for me. I think some people can get so obsessed by the idea of becoming professional in a sport or an athlete, and I think we definitely encourage people to really push themselves for that. But remember that if there is a point in which you realise that it's not going to work, having the ability to pivot and try things. And I think you could easily sat there and went, not going to do nothing, not going to do this job because I know nothing about it. Instead, you went, all right, well, I'll go and find out about it. I volunteer, and you got more experience. And then I guess your natural ability or the natural skills that you've developed over time clearly plays part in that kind of job role more than maybe the education needed to be. I know obviously you had to go and get your education, but your skills, like, I think sometimes you have to step back and go, actually, I've done pretty well here.
It was a lot of like tough conversations as well. Like being like, is this going to last for, like, is it realistic? And I think I just had to look at myself like, as much as I'd like it to be, probably not. Like, so I need to figure something out. Can't just sit and do nothing, because it's not who I wanted to be. Was just sitting and doing nothing. So I think doing the volunteering, just like, all it took was for my mum to go, oh, what trying? And it was I also had a conversation with a guy in the pub when I was working. He was
all the best conversations.
all the best over a pint. It was quite hilarious. But he was a retired mental health nurse who had got himself quite high up onto one of the boards and stuff like that. And he's like, you'd be good. I was like, you think? He's like, yeah. You can talk to it, like, you can already talk to people. That's the hardest part. And I think that stuck with me a wee bit as well. I was like, you know what, like, what's the harm in trying it? I think that was a big thing, because I could have gone into anything if I put my mind to it. So I thought, I'll just try nursing, and loved it. Literally first day went home, I was like, I think I found my niche. Like, I absolutely love that environment, because it's not a happy environment either. It's quite it is tough, both physically and mentally. So I think and I just enjoy it so much.
That's good.
Something, I think if you love something like that, then you can put more into it, and it makes those hard days worthwhile. What I really like that you've said is that so many people seem to recognise that you would be a good nurse before you did. Because I'll say to people all the time, and I'll be speaking to them about like, oh, what could you imagine yourself doing, or what are you good at? And it can be really, really difficult for people to say themselves, because I think they're worried that they're going to say to me, I want to be this, and I'm going to go, no, you can't do that, which I would never do. But also, like, there's this, and I don't know, it's a Scottish thing or something, but it's that thing of like, you're worried that people are going to say you're not good at it. So I'll always say to people, well, what would someone at home say? What would they say you're good at? What could have they given you any suggestions? And sometimes people will get suggestions from family and friends, and they'll kind of go, oh no, and your reaction tells you just as much as what they're saying. Like, if they say, oh, you'd be a good nurse, and you went, oh no, I really hate that idea, that would be a different thing. But them saying, oh, you would be good at that, and you're going, let's see.
And I think it's like it's hard to find something that you actually love as well. So I went through high school not actually having many conversations with careers advisors or anything like that, just because I wasn't on their radar, because I was supposed to be like doing well and all that kind of stuff, and just going on the track of just going to university to do probably some degree or whatever like that. But and then having like leaving it then, and then being like, right, what do I do now? It was just it was quite daunting, and then basically stumbling almost into the NHS, and then being thrown in at the deep end after volunteering, and get offered that part-time job after the Princess Trust thing, to then COVID hit, and you're like, whoa.
It's a very good point you made about, like, obviously you didn't maybe have access to a careers advisor, or ultimately you went on their radar, so you felt like, well, that's fine, you had your plan, and that's absolutely but it's a really good point to note that, I guess, as careers advisors, we physically can't see everybody. We try our best. We're in every public school almost every day. There's a careers advisor in there to be there as a support tool, but ultimately there will be people who will fall through the net unless they make it known they need support. And you know, it's not to say that you coming to us would have got you any further to where you are today, but what is important to understand is that there is still opportunities there, and what I like about you did is ultimately you got your careers advice from your mum, and there's nothing like that's brilliant. Like
Yeah,
sometimes like
totally.
parents are your main source of information, knowledge, and sometimes people will go and do the suggested things that their
Yeah.
parents suggest because they know you.
I think
Yeah.
I'm quite lucky as well that I've got a careers advisor as a mum.
Yeah.
Should have maybe acknowledged that part that it is at home.
Hi, Emma.
But I've spoke to kids in school whose parents are careers advisors, but they've said, "Can you speak to them?" Because ultimately they're not listening to me.
But
or they
actually,
don't.
I do think as well, like, actually, as much as having a careers advisor for a mum, a lot of time people don't want to listen to their mums,
No,
do they?
exactly.
You know, like, so actually, as in a way, having a careers advisor for a mum, it makes you more likely to go, well, I'm not asking a careers advisor. And then also you're like, well, all the careers advisors know my mum. So
Yeah.
they'll, you know,
Oh,
it's
that's
that
a good
sort of
point.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So actually, to take that advice from your mum, who is a careers advisor, is like, it takes a lot to do that, to be like, right,
Yeah.
okay, fine, you're right, you're good at your job, you know?
And I think it was something as well. It's like nursing.
Yeah.
Like from what I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
So like, where's that come from?
Yeah.
So left field.
Yeah, because like I remember coming to uni and then going back down to the borders and stuff like that, and people like, oh, what are you doing up at uni? I'm like, I'm doing nursing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're
You?
doing nursing?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely. And if I was to, even if like sitting out somewhere and someone goes, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
I get anything but. And I
Yeah.
find it really hilarious all the time. They're
Yeah.
like, "You're a nurse?"
Yeah.
What? Like it doesn't make sense.
That's a good point though, because
Yeah.
probably half of that is because you are a male and probably what is predominantly a female based, or obviously not as much now, but it is still probably heavily linked towards that. Was that a tough transition for you, or do you feel like that's partly the reason why people ask, or do you feel you ever have that?
Well, I think it's just the common like stereotype with it all, isn't it? I've never had a problem with it though. Like I'm just like, I am a nurse.
Yeah.
Like it's normal.
Can be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, like but it can be both male and female.
Absolutely.
Like, but and
Is there ever any issues with that within work? Like, have you ever had it where somebody has been like, oh, I don't want...
yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
get patients all the time,
Yeah.
and quite a lot of the time it's the older generation. They're like, actually, could you get a feel? And I'm like, of course,
Yeah.
that is no problem at all.
Yeah.
And there's some males who are like, actually, if
I would
there's any
prefer-
male staff,
Yeah.
which is, and I'm more than happy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
respect people's privacy. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes there isn't that option.
Yeah,
No, of
especially
course,
when it's A&E.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
trying to make the patient feel as comfortable
Yeah.
as possible, and like doing things to respect their privacy and value it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just having to work together, patient and nurse.
And actually, probably once they get to know you a little bit, it's less about what your gender is and more about who you are as a
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just need to get, like, you would get past that. Because when I was having my daughter, I had a male midwife. And I remember to start with, I was like, oh. And then eventually I was like, I love him. I like him more than anyone else I
Yeah.
know in my whole life. And actually, if I could get rid of everyone else in this room and just keep him, I would be quite happy.
I crack like a lot of jokes and stuff like that. 'Cause I just want someone to feel comfortable.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it is, like it's such a hard time.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd be the worst patient ever.
Yeah.
Honestly,
They say that, don't they? The
Oh.
healthcare workers are the worst patients.
you'd have to drag me to A&E before I took myself there. Honestly,
Apart from when you're getting paid to go there and work.
well, that's a
you
bit
have to
different.
go there.
That's different, yeah.
But for injuries, no.
Yeah, my arm could be hanging off. I'm fine. I'll just wrap it
I'll
up.
just
It'll be
stitch it.
okay.
And what about like for like, well, what about just for like anybody obviously looking to move into the kind of profession? And I think a lot of people obviously NHS is the biggest that we have here. What are the challenges then for you? Like, because obviously right now it's oversubscribed, a lot of people constantly there now since COVID. Like, has that been really tough? Because I guess your days are just constant.
I think the whole uni side of it, going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. You are working all year round.
Yeah.
You don't really get that break
Yeah.
that everyone else does, like in the summer and stuff like that. And while you're on placement, you need to accept that you might not have a social life sometimes, or as much of a social life as you can. I did pretty well at balancing both, but I would say join a club when you're in uni as well, because that is really good. It allows you to make those friends to help you get through those tough nights
Yeah.
and tough placements as well.
Yeah.
And then going into it is going into work, and it is hard. But I think just having someone that you can turn to and speak to
Yeah.
and talk to about the hard days that you've been having is like, I talk to my mum all the time.
Yeah.
And I live with 2 nurses as well.
Brilliant.
So I can go and be like, look, that was a really heavy
Of
day,
course, yeah.
and it's having support, like someone there to support you, makes it 10 times easier.
Yeah.
Because how can you support other people if you're
Exactly.
not being
You need
supported
to
yourself?
you need to look after yourself first.
Yeah.
Before you can then go and give that care to other people.
Yeah. Put your own air mask on
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Because you forget as well, like, you're just a person that's doing a job, but ultimately your job in particular is you have to almost put on a performance in some aspect, because if you have a bad day, you've had a bad week, you go there, that, and you're feeling not 100%. It must be hard to always be ready to give the best care.
Absolutely, and everyone has things going on. So it is like, I've gone into work sometimes, and I've been struggling at home, and I'm like, this is really hard. But I sometimes forget when I go to work. I forget that I've got a life on the outside. For those 12 hours, like, I'm just I'm Jake the nurse, basically, and I'm there for my patients and there to help people, and I'm quite good at, as soon as I leave work, I turn it off, which I've got better at as well. But sometimes my mum goes, I can't believe you are a nurse in the A&E. What do you mean? She's like, you ask me some thick questions sometimes.
You just turn off the brain as soon as you go out.
Literally, as soon as I leave work, that's it, I'm done. And I think it's being able to do that.
Yeah, of course.
Being able to leave it at work, because some of the stuff you see is hard and it sticks with you. And I can remember, I could write stories already, and I've only been qualified for a short amount of time, but it's being able to transition from work mode to then relaxing and being at home.
Yeah, of course.
And having that humour as well, probably being able to laugh about things rather than,
well, we've got a totally dark sense of humour.
Yeah, I bet.
And
I can imagine.
I would say it's a coping mechanism though. Like, some of the things you hear people say, you're like, out with the scenario, you'd be a bit like, oh, okay.
There are lots of different jobs, but I think especially within healthcare, it seemed like it would be so important just to have that support network. And that's something that we speak about within school, about people, is like about their career management skills, and one of those is networks. And that is that thing of like, networks can be about getting you into the job, and it can be about getting you to where you want to be in the future career and all of that stuff. But it can also be, how do you sustain your own health and your own mental health while you're in the career that you love, but can be difficult.
I think a massive part for me personally is rugby.
Yeah.
So it's being able to, I mean, I don't get to do it as much now because of shift work and stuff like that, but it's being able to have that friend group or that activity to do where you can just let off a bit of steam, where I don't have to worry about helping someone. I'm kind of going on that pitch to probably try and hurt someone, sort of thing. Like, it's
legally
send them to any.
It's all allowed.
Yeah, it's all
I've had to help people on the pitch before. But no, it's a total release for me. Like, rugby's probably my form of therapy almost. Like, things build up, and it's even just like the training, the camaraderie of it all. It's having that break and that pause from everything, and then I get to go back and do it all again. So it's like, it's good to have those hobbies and stuff to cope, keep yourself busy.
It's great to hear though, because obviously we're having conversations and we're hearing so much about the positive side of everybody's job and why they love it and why they're passionate about it, but also, you know, that there is some challenges in every role that you're going to do, and to understand those challenges, and that, you know, and find ways to cope. And hopefully if people listen to us, you know, not saying
with their eyes open.
And also not saying they need to take up rugby, but taking up, you know, something
it's quite sore, I probably wouldn't recommend it.
But taking up something that obviously gives them that community away from what they're doing, and give them a space to unwind, is just as important, because
I think
clearly
especially
it's a busy
something
job.
that's like physical, like actually, it's so good for your. I think people forget that physical health and mental health go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So I think that can make a big difference.
I think having that outlet of something, it could be anything though, but I would say do something, even if it's like a book club or something, something that you can go to, that you look forward to when it comes round, and it can kind of get you through the week. But like, I absolutely love my job. I couldn't see myself doing anything else, and I'd never want to leave A&E either. I like the chaos of it too much. I think I thrive in that a wee bit more.
Shock, a guy that likes to get battered in a sport likes a bit of chaos.
It's mentally stimulating as well, because you don't know what's coming through that door.
Of course,
like, it could be trauma, it could be a heart attack, it literally could be anything. So it's being able to change your approach for each patient tailored to their like person-centered care, giving them the best care you possibly can, but you've got 200 patients coming through that door. So it's just like you're constantly using your brain for those full 12 hours. And I'm not saying that in the wards it's different, but for me, I love it. And some people hate it, but I couldn't see myself doing anything else than that now.
What I think is so good though is like, that's what you would want. Like if I was going A&E, I would want someone who loved A&E. If I was going to ophthalmology, I would want someone who loves ophthalmology. So like, I think that can make such a difference that like you would feel so much safer with somebody who's obviously passionate about what they're doing and also has that like joy in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And on you go.
You want someone that loves their job.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because if you can trust them to do it because they love their job so much. So
yeah,
I think also I think it's still customer service, if you like, right? And I feel like recently, like we were talking about like some bad experiences in customer service where we feel like maybe certain skills are falling away from like some kids now because they're not as confident maybe going out there and speaking and doing things like that. But seeing obviously from your perspective, one of your clear skill sets is obviously talking to people and how that's, I mean, clearly we're having a great chat today, but how that's kind of like been an advantage for you and kind of an environment that now that you're working in. I think, you know, and then your approach is someone else's good or bad experience. So like it's quite a lot of responsibility actually, not just for what you do physically when you're being a nurse, but also your approach is so important to them.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to get any complaints fired at me. Right.
No,
but it's, I think, and I think the reason I've been able to become someone that can speak to people is being involved in all kind of sports and different clubs as well, and like going through primary school and high school gives you that chance to talk to new people, and it just allows you to slowly build that confidence up. But it could literally be anything, and so I've been fortunate enough with I've done rugby my whole life, and it has taken me to different parts of the world, and I've now got friends all over Great Britain, so it has tied hand in hand. But I now find it really quite, easy to just speak to anyone randomly.
I think as well with sports, like it's something that I think's really taught, is that the right word? Within sports is like the respect for the other teams, like, you know, often like shaking hands at the end of a match and things like that, and having that respect for other people who you're up against, that can then so easily translate
especially rugby.
You've just broken different. Somebody's nose, but still shake hands at the end.
Rugby's definitely got that in it for sure. What about, can I take you back just quickly about, see, when you were talking about school, right? And obviously you were front and centre camera giving your results that you were not happy with, right? See, when you then got the opportunity to do your education and then move to uni, what was your feelings on that transition? Were you nervous about it because ultimately your education maybe wasn't as good as you'd really hoped, or like did you have any kind of concerns about it?
So I think for me it would probably been a little bit different compared to a lot of people who have gone from school to uni, is because I did the online year of college, so I was behind the laptop, so it was totally different. And after that year of college I felt like I knew quite a lot.
Good.
And compared to the first year of uni, sounds mental, but college was harder. It was way harder, and it totally prepared me for, I think, the whole, and I had got the experience as well, so I actually felt quite prepared going to uni. Obviously it was quite daunting moving 3 hours away from home, couldn't go back and get my washing washed. I had to just start and do it all myself.
Life skills.
And but it was really daunting at first, but then I managed to settle in quite quickly, and college totally prepared me for all the essay writing and the tests that we were getting as well, and getting the little bit of experience during COVID as well. That set me up for placements. I think that was the scariest part, was going into a hospital where you have no idea what you're going into, and you did it 3 times a year, every year for 3 years, meeting new people for 6 to 10 weeks or whatever, and it was totally scary, but eventually you just become a bit more used to it, and you go in, I'm like, right, okay, it's another placement, new chance to learn new things, but it was scary.
Yeah.
But I felt quite prepared after after it all. But yeah, it was still daunting.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. 'Cause I think college, like, sometimes there's a stigma around college at times, you know, because obviously I've got some low level and obviously some quite high level, and ultimately for some people it has to be their step to get to where they want to go, because maybe school didn't go to plan and things like that as well. So it's good to hear that obviously it is a good stepping stone. It is good to build not only your knowledge of the one subject and a more intense environment. You're probably a bit harder because it was all online.
Well, I think, but I was totally one of those ones that was with the stigma.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
I was
okay,
like,
right.
I don't want to go to college. I'd
Yeah.
rather just go straight to uni.
Yeah.
Did it, and I'm so glad I did it
Yeah.
because it totally prepared me, and it allowed me to get where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the grades to go
Yeah.
straight into uni, and because I went to college, it allowed me to then go straight into uni.
Probably be more prepared for
Absolutely.
doing it
Yeah,
than someone coming
definitely.
straight from school. What I really think so, like, I just want to draw attention to almost is like the fact that you mentioned there about like you moved, like it's such like I used to work in Fife, and like there was lots of unis that were quite easily you could live, you know, you could live in Inverkeven and you could go to any of the Edinburgh unis and you could still live at home. Whereas when you're coming from down in the borders, like unless you're going to What, then you're having to move. So like how did that feel, that sort of transition of moving away from what you were used to into something a lot busier?
Yeah,
away?
well, there's nothing in the borders. It's just small towns and villages basically.
Yeah.
So I think coming up to Glasgow, realised very quickly I need to get a job. It's a lot more expensive than the borders.
Yes.
And I don't have the luxury. I pay my own rent. I was
Yeah.
lucky enough with nursing, you do get the bursary,
Yeah.
so that covered my rent pretty much every month for the 3 years. But I had to just learn things a bit quicker, and like being like, oh, I actually need to cook myself decent meals.
Yeah.
I need to get myself up,
Aye.
get myself prepared, wash all my clothes and all that. So it was hard to adjust
Yeah.
for a little bit, but then I realised, oh, actually, I quite enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like it was like that bit of freedom.
Yeah.
Like
And you said you're living with nurses as well, so is that quite common, like shared accommodation in healthcare? Is that
so one of them I lived with in first year halls.
just- right.
So I lived with, I think it was 6 girls in my first year's halls, and it was like a building of nurses. So it was the wildest building out of the whole of the Cali court. But that was good as well, because you could kind of be like, oh, how are you getting on? Like,
Yeah.
what are you struggling with, anything sort of
Yeah.
thing. And then people would turn to you if they wanted a hand with anything. So that was really helpful, living with other nurses as
Yeah.
well. But I think for me, so I did live a year by myself, and it is quite isolating, living alone. So it was my second year of uni, so it was quite a tough time, like going from like second to third year and stuff. So I then moved back in with someone else. It is nice having someone to go
Yeah.
home and talk to.
Yeah.
I do like my own space, but it is really nice
Yeah.
living with other people.
Yeah.
Especially people that are in the job you're doing. Like you said, you can talk to them about things and understand it quicker,
Yeah.
whereas I lived with 3 cops and no knowledge of anything that they're doing. Just had to go nod my head and be like, watch them have conversations about being a police officer and being like, I don't understand any of these terminologies or what you're saying, but they were having a great time. They were having a great time. I'm all here like, what? So I can definitely see for jobs like that particularly, definitely been a benefit if you have that support network of people in the role.
Well, all my friends, like out with the nursing ones, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like sales and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Oh, of course.
talking about all that. Like my best friend, he works in sales, and he talks to me about stuff. I'm like, oh, and you're gonna have to like dumb this down a little bit for me, because I don't understand what you're saying at all.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to him, he's like, what?
Yeah.
You did that? Like, but no, it is nice having. It's like the best of both worlds
Yeah.
almost. So it's nice being able to talk to people about your job, and it's nice to just have a bit of a break when you're talking to someone else about your job as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like rugby so much as well,
Yeah.
because it's no one really does healthcare jobs when they're playing
Yeah.
rugby as well.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
like counterintuitive almost.
Yeah.
But so it is a nice break.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, honestly, it's been so lovely speaking to you, and it's been so interesting. And I really like the fact that you had this idea, and then you were then kind of steered towards something else, and it turned out that it was the thing that you love doing. I love that, and it's so lovely for people listening to hear as well. Is that, you know, plan A might not always be the best, like not the best plan, but like, you know, plan A might not be the end thing that actually, you know, sometimes plan A isn't what you end up wanting. It might be that plan C, D, E is what you want. So yeah, honestly, it's been so lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about your days
if
off.
you've got a personal card number for when I'm in hospital, I'll be like, can you request a particular nurse, please? Like, I know it's no private, but just give me this guy.
Oh, no, I know them. I know them. No, I know.
Get them away.
No, but honestly, it's been a pleasure, and it's great for us as well. I think definitely speak to kids all the time, and healthcare is one of the big sectors that you know there's a real drive to get people into. So it's good to hear from your perspective what it's like for you, and for us to share that with other people.
It's nice talking about it as well, because there is obviously like the big like stigma and stereotypes around healthcare. So as you know, a few weeks ago, back in November, I did a talk test on students. It's great to speak to kids who are so young, because me at that age, I would have been like, nursing what? But showing them that like anyone can do it, is really nice. So it's great. I love talking about it. Love being like people that do it.
See, I'm going to tell your mum that you said how much you love doing this, so we'll get you back next year.
That's fine. Absolutely.
I know. Well, thank you, Jake. That was brilliant. Jake Fairley, by the way. I didn't say his surname earlier, just in case, you know, because if you see him in the hospital, you want to know who he is. All right. But no, that's us officially wrapped this season of Career Stories. It has been an amazing experience for both of us, and we'd like to know from you, like, what kind of professions do you want to hear about? Because I think it's important to get your voice as well, and understand that there are a lot of jobs out there, and maybe there are particular ones that you're really interested in. We've had a really good variety. So we've had a zoologist, we've had a nurse, we've had an actor as well, we've had an engineer, we've had apprentices. So I had a really good mixed bag, and you could see from each person how different their journey were. There was a lot of similarities, but there was a lot of real diverse pathways, and a lot of planned happenstance kind of careers, especially like Jake. So, you know, let us know your thoughts, and it's been a pleasure for me.
Yeah, it's been amazing. So just let us know who you'd like to see, and hopefully we can get back and do some more. So in the meantime, before we get to our next series, then you can get more information about different careers by going onto My World of Work. We've got careers advisors in every public school in Scotland, so you can get in touch that way if you're in school world. But we also have career centres across the whole of Scotland. So if you go onto our website, then you would be able to find your closest one to get in touch if you need any support, and we're always happy to help.
Yeah, no matter what age you are and whatever stage you are in your journey, whether it's looking to career change or whether, you know, you're sitting in the house unemployed and struggling a little bit, then, you know, we're good people to talk to. You can pick up the phone as well. There should be a local centre near you, but yeah, we are available. I don't know if it's us two particularly that will be available, might be depending on your location, but if not, we've got wonderful qualified careers advisors everywhere, so get in touch with us.
Thank you.
Over now.